Hey y'all, I'm Hope, and today I'm putting together my March TBR. There you go, bud. Yeah, sweet boy. Anyway, March TBR. The cat was very upset that I had shut him in, but the TV is on out there, so I was trying to, reduce noise. Anyway, again, March TBR. And this month I already know it's going to be kind of chaotic, because I'm going to have a lot of stuff going on for school, but regardless, I am, as usual, going to be playing my TBR game, TBR Betrayal. I really enjoy playing this every month, and we're going to do that, again, despite me having a lot going on in March. But to add on to the chaos, March is also Roll of Reads, which is a readathon that is hosted by book fiend Mel, and this is based on her TBR game, Roll of Reads. I think she's actually got another TBR game now, but this was based on her previous one, and this was a lot of fun last year. I think last year was the first year that she did it, but it was so much fun, so I wanted to do it again this year. And if you haven't seen Mel's TBR Roll of Reads, you have these like little cards and you set them out in a grid of 5x4, and you roll a d20, and the d20 tells you which card you have to pick. If you roll a 1, you have to roll an extra book. If you roll the same number 3 times, you have to add an extra book, and then if you roll a 20, you can just do whatever you want, because it's all D&D inspired, so when you roll a 1, you're having a critical failure. When you roll a 20, you're getting a critical success. So I just think it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed participating last year, so we're doing it again this year. But I happen to already know this is going to be very chaotic, because I actually already filmed all of the rolls for all of this. So in order to kind of make this video make sense, I think what we're going to do is go see what the board has in store for me. We'll come back, we'll talk about the books that I'm going to be reading for that, and then we'll see what Roll of Reads has in store, and I'll see if there's some overlap that can happen between all of those prompts, because, yeah, you're about to see what happened. So let's just dive into the rolls. Alright, first things first, as usual, let's find out who we're playing. So, we got an 8, hopefully that's visible, and 8 is Hercule Poirot. So I have a knowledge set of 5 and need to have 5 books on my TBR for the month. And we left off here at the end of last month. Let me grab my phone before I forget. Rolling for book number 1. We got a 4. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we got published before 2015. Continuing to roll for book number 1, we got a 4 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Got another item. The cover is a randomly generated color, so I will generate that. Hang on. Okay, so randomly generating in 3, 2, 1. Green. Continuing to roll for book number 1. We got a 2 this time. So 1, 2, which means that we draw from this mug. Let's see what we're getting. I haven't put my newest acquisitions, but most of my stuff is in here. Okay. We got Finley Donovan is Killing It, which I feel like came up in a previous month, but it somehow worked its way back to the top. So there's that. And then real quick, we have a 1 omen in play. I can't actually roll less than a 1 right here, but we'll do our hunt roll anyway. We got a 6, we're fine. Rolling for book number 2. We've got a 1, which luckily this time does give us a prompt. We got a borrowed book. So I need to have a borrowed book published before 2015 with a green cover. Rolling for book number 3. We got a 3. Elwood, please stop destroying the carpet. 1, 2, 3. Got another item. A book with a pretty cover. Continuing to roll for book number 3. We got a 4, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is a challenge. So let's find out which challenge we're doing. Got challenge number 2. Okay, challenge number 2 is Necronomicon. A mysterious book appears in your path. You pick it up and open it. Strange symbols cover the pages, and you soon realize that you can't look away. As darkness clouds your vision, attempt a sanity roll of 4+ to save yourself from madness. If you succeed, the book grants you a vision. Peek at the next prompt and move it to the bottom of the stack if you don't like it. If you fail, draw an item. So, let's see. What's Poirot's sanity? 8. Poirot has a sanity of 3, which means that I can roll a d6. So I need to get 4 or higher to succeed at this. And we got a 3. So we're getting another item. And this is a cheerful book. A cheerful book with a pretty cover so far. Continuing to roll for book number 3, we're quickly running out of house. We got a 3. Be 1, 2, 3. We got the prompt. A mystery or thriller. So we need to have a cheerful mystery or thriller with a pretty cover. Getting some interesting combinations this month. Okay, rolling for book number 4. We got a 4. Be 1, 2, 3, 4. A non-human protagonist or main character. Rolling for book number 5, we are quickly running out of house. We rolled a 1. And that gives us an omen. So, let's grab something out of this here cup. We've got The Hungry Earth by Nicholas Kaufman. So right off the bat, we got an omen, which was Finlay Donovan is killing it. I'm a little annoyed with myself that this is still on my TBR, because it's been on my TBR, like my monthly TBRs, for several months recently, because I bought this at the end of last year. It sounds like it's going to be great. It is a cozy mystery thing where a author gets mistaken for a hit woman, and then like hijinks ensue. I keep hearing such great things about this series. I've been really wanting to read it, so like fingers crossed I actually get to it in March. Next up, we got something that was a little bit difficult. I needed to find a borrowed book published prior to 2015 that had a green cover. This took some hunting because I went and looked at like my library wish list, things that I'm planning to borrow from the library, and almost none of them had green covers, and the things that did were not published prior to 2015. So this was a little bit difficult, but I've ended up settling on The Least of My Scars by Stephen Graham Jones. This is a short, like 190-page novel, somewhere in there, about a serial killer, and it's from the serial killer's point of view. The next thing we got was, again, 2 items and a prompt, because, you know, chaos. But this one was I needed to have a cheerful mystery thriller with a pretty cover. And so cheerful and mystery thriller don't seem to go together, so I was originally kind of thinking like maybe cozy mystery or something like that would fit this, but then I remembered that I have a fantasy mystery, so I'm bending this just a little bit. But I have A Restless Truth by Freya Marske, which is a fantasy romance with a murder mystery plot. It's about Maud, and she goes on the ship with this older woman, and then the older woman turns up dead, and Maud and another woman named Violet that she meets on the ship have to try and figure out what happened. There's magic, there's murder, there's mayhem, and also it is going to be cheerful because there's a romance element in it, and it has a really pretty cover. I love the covers for Freya Marske's books. After that, we got a book with a non-human protagonist or main character, and for this I've chosen Saga Volume 2. I read Volume 1 a couple of years ago and just never got around to reading Volume 2, but I have the like compendium because I was having trouble finding Volume 2, and yeah, this has several different characters who are all various kinds of aliens. Some of them have horns, some of them have TVs for heads, and so I feel like that fits. So gonna read that and hopefully continue on with that series. And then lastly, we got yet another omen, and we got The Hungry Earth by Nicholas Kaufman. This is the beginning of a medical thriller series following, I think it's Laura Powell. Yeah, and she lives in small town New York. In this particular instance, there is some sort of malevolent fungus that has begun to take root in her community. Alrighty, now for part 2. I have all my Roll of Reads cards out, and just for your simplicity of viewing, this is number 1 up here by me. all the way across to number 20 down here in the corner. That's the grid I've laid out. I have no idea if these are even like the correct direction up or anything, but I have my cards to fill in right here, and we're gonna do, oh. Mind me just accidentally throwing things on the floor. Got my dice, I think we're all good now, and I have my phone standing by with the instructions because I'm sure I'm going to forget them. But we need to roll a d8 to find out how many rolls we're gonna do, and then we're gonna start. Okay, so we got, of course, 7, because I needed more stuff to do in March. So we're gonna do 7 rolls, I'll leave that there, and let's find out what book number 1 is gonna be. So anyway, we're doing 8 rolls because I've gotten 1, which is a critical failure. So I'm gonna take this card and then we're gonna have 8 rolls. So this is number 1 of 8. This is a mental or physical health representation. All right, roll number 2. So we're doing 9 rolls. Christ. 2 of 9 is gonna be a translated book. Please don't give me another fucking 1. Okay, I can't actually read that. That is an 18, okay? Hopefully that's visible for you guys. But that's gonna be 2019, 18. We got Paladin. I do not remember what Paladin is, so let's find out together. Predominantly set in a city or urban environment. All right, number 4 of 9. We got a 15. Oh, whoops. Almost forgot to put back 18, but it's gonna be this guy. An indie or self-published book. Replace it this time. This is gonna be roll number 5 of 9. 17. 15, 16, 17. A book that's set somewhere you've been. Number 6, I believe. Hilariously is also a 6. Is that correct? Yeah, book number 6 is number 6. 5, 6. We got Halfling, another one I don't remember, so let me grab my phone. Read a short story, novella, or graphic novel. Okay, roll number 7 of 9. We got 16 also. I once again forgot to put something in there, but that's okay. So 15, 16. We got Orc, which another one I don't remember. Read a horror, thriller, mystery, or dark academia. Go ahead and replace that. This is 8 of 9. 14. Half Elf, which is, per my refrain, one I don't remember. So let me grab that. Read a YA or middle grade. And now number 9 of 9. Hopefully 16. It's the second time we've gotten 16, but it's fine because you have to get it 3 times for it to be a problem. And this is a booktuber's favorite book. So Roll of Reads really wanted me to pack in the reading, which probably I need to do anyway for my Goodreads goal, but like, I really can't believe I got 2 critical failures right back to back. That was top tier. I could not have planned that better myself in terms of comedy. But anyway, we ended up doing 9 rolls, and I have the prompts here. I don't know that these are still in the same order, but we're gonna go through them in this order so that I can kind of use these for reference. But the first thing that we got was mental or physical health representation. For this, I'm planning to read The Spare Man by Mary Robinette Kowal, which is a sci-fi mystery that has a disabled protagonist who uses a cane as a mobility aid and has a service dog. I think this sounds like it's gonna be really fun. I don't remember much about like the mystery or what it's like the setup is, but like all I really need to know to be excited is that it's a sci-fi mystery. Like it just sounds good. And then after that, I got translated book, and for that I'm gonna be reading Moriarty the Patriot Volume 2, which is a manga series that I started a couple of years ago, I think. This is a series that takes Moriarty from the Sherlock Holmes books and asks, you know, what if Moriarty started out with good intentions and how did he become the Napoleon of crime from there. After that, we got Paladin, which is to read a book set in either a city or an urban area, and I've chosen It's Witchcraft by Cole McCade. This is the 5th book in the Criminal Intentions Season 1 series, which is a really fun series of like short police procedural mysteries with a romance at the center of the stories, and it's set in Baltimore. So I'm on book 5, I'm really enjoying this, and it's on one of my like series to finish lists for the year, so I'm hopeful that I can like get this one in there and make some progress on that. So then after that we got Indie or Self-Pubbed, and for this I'm choosing The Solstice Cabin by Arden Powell, which is the 4th book in their Flows Magica series, which is a series of short fantasy romance books. I read a horror book from Arden Powell at the end of last year and was really kind of disappointed with it. I think I gave it 3 stars initially. I think I would probably give it 2 now. It deals with some dark topics and I don't think it does it very well. So I've been kind of putting off reading The Solstice Cabin, having had that experience with the Bayou, but I'm hopeful that getting back into some of Arden Powell's kind of lighter, more hopeful books that is, you know, maybe not trying to tackle something quite so dark, I think that I'll have a better time with this. So then we got Set Somewhere You've Been, and I've chosen Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I've been to the campus at UNC Chapel Hill several times. I had a friend who completed her undergraduate degree there, and I visited her there while she was, you know, doing her undergrad. I've been there several times. It's a really cool campus, really pretty area. It's hot as shit though. Like, anywhere else in North Carolina is like 10 degrees cooler at all times. Anyway, I'm just curious to see how Tracy Dion is going to use that setting in this book, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Then we got Half Elf, which is to read a YA or middle grade book, and I'm not sure which one of these I'm going to be reading yet, but I'm currently working on a vlog for the Chronicles of Prydain series by Lloyd Alexander. I originally read book 2 of this series as a kid without knowing it was part of a series, and then recently found out it was a series via my friend who told me about it. And yeah, I got gifted the series for my birthday this year from my partner, which was super sweet of him. He didn't even know the backstory on it. And I am now reading this series. But I'm currently on book 2. I'm hopeful to finish book 2 this month. But if I don't, because of the chunkier other book I'm reading at the moment, which I'll be talking about in a minute, I'll be reading book 2. If I do get to book 2, I'll be reading book 3. So we have The Black Cauldron or The Castle of Lear. So then after that, we got Halfling, which is to read a short story or novella or graphic novel. So I'm going to be using Saga Volume 2 for this so that I can have some overlap with my TBR Betrayal TBR. And then similarly for Orc, which is to read a mystery, thriller, horror, or dark academia book, I'm going to be reading, if I can pick it up, The Hungry Earth by Nicholas Kaufman. And then the very last one I got was Booktuber's favorite book, and for this I decided to pick something from Leanne from Leanne's Library's Favorites. She is a big Joe Abercrombie fan. I've heard a lot about his books from her channel, and I've kind of been going back and forth on whether I wanted to read his books lately. But the Catch Up Book Club is reading the First Law series, or the whole First Law world, as their current pick. So at the moment I am currently reading The Blade itself, which was their January and February pick. I'm hoping to finish this by the end of February. So all of that to say that because he's one of Leanne's favorite authors, I figure I'm justified in picking Before They Are Hanged as my book for this for March, which will be also the March and April pick for Catch Up Book Club. I twisted this one a little bit to like fit what I needed to fit in anyway, but you know, Leanne is the person I see most frequently talking about Joe Abercrombie and his books, so I feel relatively confident in making that choice. I think it fits. I think it works. I'm not sure which of his books is her favorite, but I feel like being able to pick something from her favorite author is justified. So all of these, plus some audiobooks, are all of the books that I need to read in March. This was very chaotic, and I really should have seen it coming when TBR Betrayal was kind to me for February. But I think it's going to be fun. I'm still excited, and I really like this selection of books and the audiobooks, the ebooks that I'm going to be reading. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. But that's all I have for you today. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, I hope you'll consider giving it a like, maybe even subscribing to see what comes next. I'm currently posting every Tuesday and Saturday, so there is more content coming soon. Also, let me know what you're going to be reading for March down in the comments below, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.